Greetings, Sovereign Initiate. I am Rhiannon, your Scarlet Woman Priestess, and welcome to the Orchid Sanctum, the Priestess Reclamation Project. This is episode 2, the Pitfall of the Wilds. You feel the power, the deep, resonant hum in your womb, the primal source. But where does it go? Does that raw energy dissipate into chaos? Are you stuck watching your cycles repeat and your greatest potential dissolve? If you answered yes, you are experiencing the devastation of the pitfall of the wilds. The wilds and the failure. The wilds are not a physical place. They are a spiritual state of disintegration and stagnation. They represent the failure to successfully cross the abyss. The abyss is a great void of consciousness that separates the material self from the highest spiritual path. It is the place where the ego is tested and must dissolve to make way for the genuine gnosis. The true choice here is between the pitfall of the wilds, chaos and stagnation, and the success of unity, sovereignty, and integration. If you've not watched The Call of the Scarlet Woman, which is episode 1, the video before this, I encourage you to do so, either right now or at the end of this video. The pitfall signifies the condition where your spiritual current is unchanneled and uncontained. It is the chaos that results when the Sacred Graal, your womb and body, fail to hold the infinite current. The Scarlet Woman is the archetype of sovereign power and perfect receptivity. She is the current of unconditional release and sustainment. The pitfall of the wilds is the direct opposition to the Scarlet Woman. It is the state of being terrified of the current or being unable to contain it. The wilds are what happens when you reject the fearless acceptance that the Scarlet Woman teaches. In therapy, we may call this difficulty to enact radical acceptance, or the desire to control that which we cannot control. To be trapped in the wilds is to forfeit your true reclamation. The abyss does not wait. To stay still is to fall backward. Understanding the pitfall. The pitfall is not a failure of having too little energy. It is the failure of containment. When your vessel is compromised, the infinite current you are pulling from the great womb, Binah, overflows. Without the proper architecture, that pure energy simply dissipates into chaos and stagnation. There are 3 hallmarks of spiritual stagnation. 1. Leaking energy, the sieve effect. Your boundaries are porous, turning your Sacred Graal into a sieve. Energy is constantly leaking out, leaving you spiritually depleted. 2. Manifestation distortion, the warped reflection. The creative current is being warped by your unintegrated shadow, unresolved trauma, or deep subconscious fears rooted in the ego. If you are trying out witchcraft and trying to make things happen and they're not, or they're just going wrong, you have manifestation distortion, often a result from the unintegrated shadow. Denying your shadow creates a gap, manifesting limitations. Don't worry, we will do an entire episode on shadow work and what that truly means and looks like without just Carl Jung yapping about it. Unresolved trauma. The trauma response acts as an internal barrier, preventing perfect receptivity and causing the current to hit a wall and distort. Your energy hits blockages and then contorts itself into weird shit. Unconscious fears. Ego's resistance creates stagnation through self-doubt, keeping the current flowing in limiting circles. 3. The inner-outer battle. The unanchored self, a chronic conflict between your deep spiritual identity and your ability to anchor that identity in the tangible physical world. This is a disconnection between the crown and the feet. The key to escaping them is simple. You must transition from viewing your power as a flow you hope to catch to viewing your body as the Sacred Graal, the clean container you must build and maintain. And that brings us to the core solution. The core solution, the Sacred Graal and the Scarlet Woman current. The call to the Grail. You must cease to see yourself as a passive traveler and begin to know yourself as the Sacred Graal, the holy cup which holds the current. The womb aligns with Binah, the great womb and the infinite void. The priestess's body becomes the living Grail, designed to perfectly receive, hold, and translate this infinite current. The Scarlet Woman, the key to perfect receptivity. The Scarlet Woman is the sovereign current of fearless acceptance and unconditional release. She enables the priestess to embody the dynamic equilibrium, sustain, and release. By integrating this archetype, you move beyond the shame and fear that causes distortion, allowing the raw current to flow through you without interference. The practical path. Dynamic equilibrium. Building the temple. The 3 pillars. Reclamation is an architectural project. You must build the supporting structure to contain that infinite power. The structure is mapped out by the Kabbalistic 3 pillars of the temple. 1. The pillar of mercy, unconditional flow, represented by the sea. Energy, expansion, divine flow, and unconditional love. The danger of which is excess, leading to the pitfall of the wilds, of leaking energy. Your cup runneth over, and not in a good way. 2, the pillar of severity, sacred constraint, the walls, the levees. Energy, necessary constraint, discipline, sacred boundary setting. This is the conscious act of establishing firm boundaries. This pillar is your immediate antidote to the pitfall. But the danger is excess leads to stagnation and rigidity. You will lose all sense of flexibility, flow, and spontaneity. The third, the pillar of equilibrium, the middle way, the bridge, representing a dynamic equilibrium, the constant fluid harmonization between mercy and severity. The mastery. The priestess masters both unconditional release and unconditional boundary setting, resulting in energy moving from potential back into form, perfectly resulting in the success of unity and manifested sacred reality. Call to contemplate. You now understand that the pitfall of the wilds is a lack of containment, and the Priestess Reclamation is the architectural project of building your Sacred Graal using the 3 pillars of the temple. If you are ready to stop fearing the chaos and start being the perfect container for the infinite, then you must look at your life today and ask yourself, which pillar requires your attention? Are you collapsing into the chaos of mercy or constricting yourself with excess severity? The next phase of your journey requires you to assess the strength of your walls, reflect on your containment, for there lies your path across the abyss. Once again, I am Rhiannon Shadow Weaver, Scarlet Woman Priestess, host of the Orchid Sanctum. The door remains open. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any transmissions from this channel. You never know, the next one might be exactly what you need on a certain kind of day. Until next time, consider what you can do in your life today to take a step closer towards looking into that abyss or coming out the other side.